When I do these DFS segments, and I appreciate all the feedback I get, but I've noticed when I'll do a basketball one, someone will suggest I do a hockey, or I do a hockey one day, and someone suggests I do a baseball, or I don't do a baseball, and I hear about it, and you know, I simply, as most would understand, I don't really have the time to do a baseball, a basketball, and a hockey all in one day. But I'll tell you what. For today, I am going to do two NBAs, two MLBs, and an NHL for Saturday, April 18th. And I had actually a pretty crazy night. I came home about 6:30, 6:45 Central Time, and I found out I was right at the top of the heap in both of my baseball ones, and this was after, in a matter of moments, I had Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton, and the second baseman for the Blue Jays all go yard, and unfortunately didn't do much the rest of the night. While Mike Trout went yard twice, Alex Rodriguez went yard twice. I'm thinking several Oakland players. Nick Markakis a 4-for-4 night. Lorenzo Cain continues to be on fire. Wound up being hockey that I wound up being enormous, and out of 14,000 entries, as Craig Smith and Philip Forsberg started beating Corey Crawford like a rented mule. I actually got into the top 20, but then a couple late goals in the Vancouver-Calgary game, which I didn't have any players from, and some players racked up some enormous penalty minutes later. I'm looking for someone. Someone had to make a lot of money off the Calgary player who got 42 penalty minutes late in that game, the fisticuffs portion of the game after the outcome had been decided. So, anyway, I'm going to whip around these really fast. And we'll start with day one of the NBA playoffs. 4 games on Saturday. We'll have 4 more on Sunday. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I have stacked heavily on the Dallas-Houston game. And that is based on... There is over-under at 211. That's the highest. The other ones... one I'm staying away from right now. I might change my mind last minute, but... Wizards Raptors is about 194. Pelicans Golden State is 204. The worry there is Golden State's a 12.5 point favorite. That may get into a blowout. As you can see, the money line Warriors are have a 90% chance of winning this game. Milwaukee Chicago, that could be ugly, grinding affair. But the game I really like is, and I could see Mark Cuban's fired a shot across the ball saying that the Rockets would not be that good a team without James Harden. Well, there's a lot of teams that would not be that good. The Cavaliers would not be that good without LeBron James. And Miami Heat is not good without LeBron James. The Lakers are not good without Kobe Bryant in his prime. That's way too obvious a statement there, but Mark Cuban likes his name in the paper like any Indiana graduate would. But I like Michael Carter. Well, you guys see the training wheels come off with the Milwaukee players, and you'll see it with Antonumpo. I'm going to like. I might find a way to get Antonumpo into a lineup as well. Derrick Rose. I like that price point. The Bulls have to ride him. It's time for Derrick Rose to step up. He may only, if they score a fairly easy win, he may be held to about 30 minutes. But Rose is going to have to be. The Bulls are going to have to ride him. Klay Thompson, I've just been waiting forever. It seems like the last 2 months of the season, he's either being rested or there's a risk of a blowout or his minutes being held. If I had a choice between James Harden and Anthony Davis, I would go Harden with that. I think Dallas-Houston will be a competitive and a high-scoring game. As you can see, I have Ariza. Aminu, you know what? This has actually had several good games where he's been in that 20-something point range. So I kind of like him for this series. You know, it's last night of the regular season, I think like there were some 370, 380 point games out there by contestants. If you happen to be the lucky one who figured out which bench warmer was going to come up huge in the Miami-Philadelphia game and a few others, congratulations, that was the key. So I got Terrence Jones, Squeeze Ilyasova. I'm not nuts about him. Tyson Chandler, I think, is rounding back into form. 44 points in fantasy points in 25 minutes he wound up to the regular season with. So I think he's ready to roll. And among the centers, you know, it's going to be hard to live with world without Russell Westbrook or Enes Kanter, but Howard is not really an expensive center on Saturday. So I think Chandler's going to be your best bang for the buck there. And then would be my New Orleans lineup. And I might double down with the one I just gave you or find a way to get Antonumpo instead of Klay Thompson in one. Yeah, I have Drew Holiday, Eric Gordon, and Anthony Davis. I guess it'll work if New Orleans can keep it competitive. So other than that, pretty much the same lineup as the first one. So those are my two NBA lineups. And then baseball, we have about an equal enough amount of day games and night games, so we can double dip today. And I'm not going to mess around with pitchers. I went with Joe Kelly last night, and mixed results. He racked up. He got his pitch count up to 120 in no time. He could only make it 5 2/3. So I'm going with Zimmerman. I have no idea who will be catching for the White Sox today, but for the day games, I think day game after night games, there's going to be a lot of cheap catching options out there. Freddie Freeman, I got in there, lefty-righty. Hope he could smash the ancient knuckleballer R.A. Dickey, so I'm kind of Devon Travis.
They got those 3 RBIs. He had a ball to right field that was a bullet.
This is a deep drive to center, and this ball is smoked and gone. Go ahead, Devin Travis. His first at bat in the leadoff spot. It's a leadoff home run.
Yeah, he's going to be a huge pickup this week in season-long games. You are going to want him at the top of your list. And here's Chris Bryant. Yes, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. The player to make his career debut, hitting cleanup and striking out 3 times. His name was Darryl Strawberry, and at least between the lines, he did pretty good. So here I got I'm going to have a cheap shortstop in there, and I want to combo Bryant and Solar. You know what? I'll put Markakis in, and then maybe I'll find another. See the Phillies pitcher, Harain. Actually, he was good in the. He shut down the Red Sox for a few innings in his season debut. But veteran, he gets touched up. Feel free to use your Nats. Play your Washington Nationals tomorrow. And then with the night games. Again, I'm not going to mess around. I want someone with an excellent chance of winning, and I like Zach Greinke's chances against the Rockies. So I'm going with him. I have Darno from the Mets, and then I've been waiting to stack up some Royals. Oakland's throwing a righty out. Have a pretty decent righty. Jesse Hahn, the one-time San Diego Padre, will be in there. But you know what? I'm going to roll with Hosmer, Lorenzo Cain, and Moustakas. Panic is a punt play. He hit second. I got Ibar in there. And then I'm going to close it out with Kiermaier and Chris Davis. So there's my nightcap lineup for MLB. And then finally, I am banking on the Rangers. This team has a 94 feel to it. The Penguins played them tight in game 1, but I am going to bank on the Rangers piling on the Penguins. So I'm going the entire first line with Nash, Zuccarello, and Brassard. And then the other one I'm going to go heavy on is I've got some Tampa players. Detroit won game 1, so Tampa needs us. They can't go back to Detroit down 2-0, so they're going to bounce back. So that's why I have Palat and Kucherov, and I put the goalie as well. And then I think if the St. Louis Blues didn't know it before, they found out that they're up against the Minnesota Wild. They are a bona fide Stanley Cup contender. I would not be surprised to see the Wild come out of the Western Conference. I'm going to say Wild against Rangers in the final. So here's a cheap center, Mikael Granlund. There are other cheap options with the Wild. So I'm going to stay away from St. Louis for now. Here you go. Fanix 5,200. Mikko Koivu for 58. Jason Pominville, I've used him a few times. Nice play there at 63. The only pricey Wild non-goaltender, Zach Parise is 8,000. And then, I got kind of staying away from that Winnipeg-Anaheim series just because, the Wild, the Ducks' first line's kind of pricey. Perry and Getzlaf, that's kind of pricey. I'm kind of waiting for that series to get back to Winnipeg, and they'll be fired up, and I'll put some Winnipeg players in there. That's when the intensity will really heat up. So there I go with Nash, Palat, Assan, Kucherov, Brassard, Granlund, Tyler Myers, Marcos Candela, not to get confused with Nelson Mandela, and Ben Bishop. So there you go. One-stop shopping. MLB, NBA, NHL. Fun time of year. Have fun, everybody.